Hi there, today's stretch is for the hip flexors. When you're sitting for prolonged periods at a desk or sitting in a car, it's quite common for you to actually get very tight and held in a shortened position through your hip flexors. There's two components to the hip flexors. There's a section that runs from the front of the lumbar spine and then passes down through the hips onto the femur, which is your thigh bone, or else from the inside of the front of the pelvis, and again it passes down across the hip joint and onto the femur. So when you're sitting, you tend to end up in a prolonged, after a period, as they shorten, they're going to be pulling down and making you get a shortened angle of your hip here. So that way instead of staying up. And you can tend to pull the lumbar spine forward a little bit and increase that curvature there, and also then pulling up the femur end as well. So that can cause you some lower back pain, and obviously something we want to avoid. The best stretch to do for your hip flexors is a lunge stretch, and we'll show that to you now. As you're performing the stretch, you want to be keeping your hips square and pointing forward, taking a step forward, and then dropping your back knee down, keeping your back up nice and upright. You should be feeling the stretch through the front on the inside of the thigh. And as you feel that easing, then you can obviously just push slightly further forward with the lunge in the hips. Obviously from there, then coming up and changing sides, making sure you're performing the stretch on both sides equally. Quite often you'll find as well, you may find one side is tighter than the other, in which case you might want to spend a little bit more time on that particular side stretching it. Again, just make sure you're always keeping the hips square. The next progression to that as well is you can obviously then change the angle slightly by twisting the hips a little bit, just so you're getting into a different angle of the muscle fibres that you're stretching. So again, going in, we can start square, and then if I just turn it slightly, you'll feel that it actually changes the position that you're feeling the stretch through. Happy stretching everyone, we'll see you next time.